Hey everyone, my name is Sammy and welcome to another part of my Stream 3 playthrough of Assassin's Creed 4, where I will play the game live and try to provide commentary and analysis as I go. So, right now, we're just going to continue where we left off, but I think we're largely open-ended right now, so I'm thinking, first thing we should do is, not necessarily continue with Edward Kenway's story here, but I've been curious to look into some of the stuff outside of the Animus. So I've been thinking we should actually just go. Actually, one of the features of game, I think we have seen this earlier before, but I haven't really delved into it just because I've been trying to progress the Edward Kenway portion of it, is that of the story is that you can, because you are exploring it through an Animus, through a device, there's also a component of the game where you can step out of the Animus and explore the real world, and you can do this at pretty much at any time. So you can explore these two different storylines essentially at will, and normally speaking, the in-Animus stuff, where the story related to the character in the Animus, in this case it would be Edward Kenway, that is, the bulk of the story. Largely, it takes up the majority of the game, and the stuff outside of the Animus is like a supplemental side story. That is, they're meant to inform each other. Whatever details found in the Animus can then be taken in the quote-unquote real world of the game for a certain purpose. In previous games, which had a different character, Desmond Miles, who was going into the Animus to relive his ancestors' memories, to look into specific details of the past that he could use for the present. This game changes it up to where there's a new person. We're working for Abstergo Industries, and they're essentially the inventors of the Animus. So while I do that, I'll actually go outside of the Animus and see what else we can do. So earlier on, we already saw a introduction to the quote-unquote real world, which is this. We're working for a company, Abstergo, and Abstergo was the original inventor of the Animus, which allowed Desmond to explore the memories of his ancestors. But now we're just some random Joe Schmo. We don't actually know who we are, and we are an employee for Abstergo, and we're able to delve into essentially the same ancestral line as what Desmond was exploring. So it is related. So Edward Kenway's story here inside the Animus is related to the other characters that Desmond has already seen in previous Assassin's Creed games. But the big question mark now is who are we, and what can we do in the real world? Like what exactly are we trying to accomplish in the Animus? What kind of details are we trying to get? I'm assuming that Abstergo knows a lot more than what our character knows, and that Abstergo has specific goals in mind for what they want to research out of the Animus, and we're just another worker that is supplying them the information. We don't have the whole picture. As far as our character, but also as far as our role as a player, we don't really know what the heck we are doing with the Animus here. So essentially, from the game perspective, this is practically a different game. I would think, if I had to guess, this was developed by a totally different team than the game proper, the in-Animus stuff. But it's hard to tell exactly, how they're separated, because games as big as this, as Assassin's Creed, an Assassin's Creed game, the AAA developer, games, they typically have multiple teams working on them, several teams working on them all over the world, contributing their own part to the game. And I would figure that this real world stuff in the Assassin's Creed games are probably developed by a completely separate team or teams than what the in-Animus stuff is. This is why a lot of the stuff feels different. Like there's a totally different HUD. This is a first-person experience rather than a third-person experience. Although that wasn't the case in previous Assassin's Creed games, where you would in the real world you were Desmond Miles and you would explore from the third person just like you would in the Animus. But now they switched it up to a first-person experience.
Straight into people's homes.
So, as far as the open world stuff in Assassin's Creed 4, I haven't really figured out what it's all about, what we're trying to do, and what the whole purpose of this portion of the game is. So I guess today I will hop out of the Animus and just walk around and see what else I can gather about this real world segment. So, as with any new environment, the first part of it is to just explore, see where we can go, where we can't go, and potentially where we could go, provided we have the proper items or keys to go to those areas. So, probably good thing to look around, see where we can and can't go, and if there are any locked doors, for instance, that we might be able to walk through someday. Right now, it doesn't seem like we can actually interact with much. Most of this environment seems to be like decorative. Can't really talk to people. Seems like we can just walk around. And I'm just like essentially wandering, exploring until I find something I can interact with. Okay, so looks like these QR codes in the environment. I can do something with my tablet, my character's tablet here, and scan it, and it gives me a sticky note. Yeah, I found one earlier. I'm not sure. I guess they just provide us with random information, little bits and pieces. I suppose in providing clues about what we might want to do in this world besides just enter the Animus. Okay, it was the 17th and 18th centuries. Okay, this is a short one, so I'll read it on stream. It was in the 17th and 18th centuries, the world became an indecent place, rent of its original purpose. During the ages of industrial revolutions, here it was the machines of industry we unleashed in such grand quantities, quite without understanding them, unwound motives, purposes of their own, as inert as they were. Okay, that's interesting, but I'm not entirely sure what that means. Perhaps find more of these sticky notes, be able to piece together what the heck they mean. I wonder if we have all the sticky notes, say 1 and 3, this whole thing would make more sense. This sticky note 2 that I found earlier, this was actually in my work area I scanned earlier. Was they talk about first little hint of being those who came before imbued us with life. So they're referring back to the sort of precursor race that preceded humanity, that essentially made way for humanity to rise up and become a civilization. So there was if you know about if you've played previous Assassin's Creed games, you know about that the main component of the story, ever since Assassin's Creed 1, is the sort of the precursor race, and us as modern humans, particularly Abstergo, is trying to learn more about them, perhaps to gain an advantage in technology that we haven't achieved yet, because they were highly technologically advanced, and trying to learn why they fell. And there's also a storyline about a great cataclysm that they predicted. That storyline ended with in the previous game, Assassin's Creed 3. So now that we're in Assassin's Creed 4, it's like a totally open-ended thing about what we're trying to do and learn from those precursor race. So I guess right now, it seems like the one thing that I want to do is look for more of those sticky notes. So that seems to be the only thing that I seem to be able to do at the moment. Alright, so looks like this one is a sort of dead end, restricted area, and I need security level 2 access. So I can gather that probably I can gain this next security level perhaps later on in the game. I will be able to gain this security access and access a new area, but right now I can't do it. I'm gonna have to keep on exploring. Okay, so another one of these sticky notes. Oh, 7! Wow, there are a lot of them to find. So let's read this. Take the cinema, which gives us lies, as a man once said, 24 times per second per second. Take the phonograph, which preserves noises which ought to be ephemeral. Take the television, which is obviously stupid. Take video games, which are secretly stupid, and y'all know. You wish there was more pornography, you know you do. Okay, I don't... So far, this stuff not making a lot of sense. Perhaps written by a person who is not mentally sound, I don't know. And I'm gonna have to keep finding more of these sticky notes. Important detail is that, as we saw in the first part, or as I noted there, is that this whole Abstergo thing is meant to be like a sort of mock facade of the developers of the game, of this very game, which is Ubisoft, and the developers are primarily in France and in Canada, where they also speak French. So this is probably in Montreal, so it makes sense that this would be there would be people speaking French here. So right now, I appreciate this sort of self-awareness, this self-parody and satire of, you know, they're able to poke fun at themselves. They're able to add a little bit of self-reflexivity and have a little fun with making Abstergo a sort of reflection of themselves. Yeah, as we see here, this is like stuff like this. You can see Assassin's Creed Black Flag is a product, a sort of entertainment product in the world here, just like it is a game for us. Alright, so I don't see any more of those sticky notes here. I wonder if I can actually... What's over here? Alright, this one's security level 1 access, so probably get here eventually. Here, another security level 2. So the reason why I think that I'd be able to cross these doors is because these environments are built, they're made, and usually when an environment is made in an environment is made in a game, there is greater purpose to them besides just looking good, making the space believable. Usually the game will have you explore those environments. Otherwise, they wouldn't the developers of the game would not have taken the time to make them. They would just hide it from view. So the fact that these environments exist at all tells me that I can probably explore them at some point in the game. I just have to find the proper key to get to them. So I wonder if I can... I know it came here from a floor below. I wonder if I can actually go that way first, or see what else is here. Another security level 1, security level 2. Are there any more sticky notes around here that I might have missed? I think so. So right now the only thing I can do that I'm aware of being able to do is collect those sticky notes, and hopefully those will enlighten more about what I can do. Or maybe I will also stumble on other things I can do besides just collecting those sticky notes. But as far as... Okay, here's another one. 17! Wow, they're... Oh, man. Piecing these things together in order is going to be tough. Alright, let's see if this gives us any clue. As our tools are genetic expressions of our mental cultural activity, and as we are expressions of their mental cultural activity, it must necessarily follow that this world as it is now and as it ever will be is an expression of the first will, an expression of their labors, and thus belongs not to us but to them. The wires, the cables, the data networks that now crisscross the globe are hers. They must become her body and her mind. Okay, yeah, this is clearly referencing the precursor race again, and I think as players, if we played the previous Assassin's Creed games, we know about that stuff. But I don't think our character here knows what this would be talking about or referring to. This character, whoever it is, probably has no idea of the precursor race, and only a few people, a handful of people out of Abstergo would know about that. But our character as a new worker, a new employee, probably does not have clearance, does not have the privilege, isn't privy to that information. Alright, so right now we can only go floor 2 and floor 1, so maybe we'll be able to get more information about what we can do by going to the first floor again. Oh, this is a really elaborate company. This building alone must cost a fortune because they have an aquarium in the elevator. That's insane. They have all these natural environments here, more aquariums here. All impressive, but as far as what we're supposed to do in the game, still no real clue. Mostly just wandering around. Okay, another sticky note here. Okay, 10. Yes, we submit that we are such tools, and as such have a purpose befitting a tool. We submit we are like hammers and wrenches and shovels made for a specific purpose, not our own. We submit that our purpose is indivisible from the will of those who came before. We submit ourselves, our bodies, and our minds utterly. Okay. Still not much. Still can't really figure out what's going on, but or who's leaving these notes. But I think that these notes were probably all left by the same person, considering they're all talking about the same topic. So that's a small noteworthy detail that's probably important. There's also the fact that these sticky notes are purposely left really scattered. Like, it's not that we're picking them up in out of order sequence, but even among the same floor, they are widely varying apart. So, like, say we haven't even picked one yet, and we're not even sure what sticky note 1 is on this. If it's anywhere on these 2 floors that we currently have access to.
How'd the playtests go?
So, I mean, that's made by design by the developers of the game, so that, I mean, you won't have a clear vision of what those notes mean, clear picture of what those notes mean, you know, right away. I think it's to encourage you to explore and try to get as many as possible before you can finally start to understand them clearly.
Coffee was better in the old.
I think that's just fine because
This guy John, the one
it inherently encourages exploration,
Yeah, I think
which
so.
is
Super arrogant.
Have you tried turning it off and back on again?
That's all he ever says.
something a game about, or a game that gives you an environment should give you an incentive to explore those environments. So I think that works just fine for me. Alright, sticky note 6. Take for instance gunpowder, which gave us great mastery over fire. Take for instance the daguerreotype, which warped our way of seeing true life. Take the light bulb, that gave us light when none was necessary. Take the automobile, that sped us along at velocities capable only of killing us in new and silly ways. Okay. Kind of find it strange that we can't really talk to anybody. But I guess there's really no incentive to talk to anybody.
No, it's kind of sterile. I always feel like
But it's also probably just down to the fact that our character here doesn't seem to be voice acted, so that would be the primary reason why I can't talk to anybody. Alright, I think nothing really left here. I don't see anything. But I won't resign myself to thinking there's nothing left. Who knows, these sticky notes could be hidden anywhere, so around every single corner. So the good thing about this in-Animus stuff and this outside-of-the-Animus stuff, the historical versus present, is that we're able to take breaks from the main game, the game proper, which is Edward Kenway's story as a pirate.
I think that sort of thing is
If we're ever like
hardware, infrastructure.
tired of it or wondering,
Not really.
don't have a lot of direction, it's probably a good time to take a little break from it and then pop out of the Animus and then progress to this part of the story, which is great because that's the type of nonlinear storytelling that I like in games. Is that it's not necessarily one story that has to be nonlinear, like exploring that story or progressing the events of that one storyline in any order that you want. But this is like a much more
It runs out here.
prudent way of nonlinear storytelling,
Friends working for Bloom down there. I
in
think
that
it's
it is
more up my alley. Hardware,
it is two storylines
just not happy.
running parallel to each other, and you can hop back and forth between them at will.
Ever actually met this guy, John?
And I think that, as far as helping an interactive experience, that helps vary the pacing a bit. It gives you more options as far as exploring what the game as a whole has. And if you ever, as I said, if you ever get tired of one storyline, you can hop back to the next, and helps you. It just helps you from getting disinterested by changing things up, or by giving you more freedom. Let's see if there's anything in here. Any more sticky notes? Bathroom upstairs. I know there weren't any more. There weren't any sticky notes hidden. Who knows? Okay, I don't see anything anywhere. You know, I'm not even sure what the gender of my character is. Could very well be a woman, so not entirely sure which bathroom I'm allowed to be inside. As far as HR is concerned, hopefully they won't find out. In any case, don't see any sticky notes. We're in first person and we know nothing about our character. We can't just assume that we're a man. We could very well be a woman in this. In the real world. Alright, so I don't see anything here. How about downstairs? Security level 3. 3 again. We can't go back this way. Alright, so I think we've explored largely everything there is to explore, but
Thinking about moving there after my visa runs out here.
haven't really gained any greater clue about what we can do. Just curious, I wonder like how this part of the story actually progresses
Wow, this is going.
and how we're supposed to know when there are new things available in this portion. So, guess we'll just have to find that out as we go along.
Yeah, I've been pushing it to 5 and 6 hours.
Yeah, I basically have no security clearance whatsoever. So I think right now I'm basically at a dead end as far as what I can see in this world. And you know, normally, from my knowledge of previous Assassin's Creed games, the way it would tell you that there's new stuff to do in the greater portion of the world is that it'll just give you a prompt on your HUD that'll say that you have new emails, new stuff is available. I'm going to assume that we'll get similar prompts, and we'll have to keep an eye out for those. But for right now, yeah, I don't really see anything else to do here. I don't see any way right now to open any of the doors that I saw that were locked. So this portion of the game is still a huge mystery to me, and yeah, it's very curious. It's not necessarily a good or bad thing, but have to really decide that as we go forward. Maybe some of this stuff here is actually too obtuse or too well hidden, to the point where I could be overlooking some stuff, and those oversights are preventing me from continuing on in this world. But otherwise, like, some of the more important stuff that unlocks could be tied to the main storyline, so that, you know, I don't get too ahead of myself in here just yet. So it's nonlinear storytelling with, I guess, limits. With it's not totally free and open-ended. There are limits to what you can do, and those limits are then taken out or unlocked when you progress enough in the alternate storyline. And I guess because oh, you have no found another one. Okay. Okay, take saturated fats and high fructose corn syrups, which poison us, and soy, which has been known to make men into women. Take computers, which count so fast we cannot keep up, nor should we, for we are in a perfect race of disgusting shells of tissue and bone, incomplete in and of ourselves. We must have masters to survive. We must admire masters. Okay, well, there's still a lot of sticky notes missing, but clearly seem to be focused on the precursor race. Precursor people. But as far as just progressing further in this portion of the game, the outside of the Animus portion, they aren't really doing much besides just writing some sort of background exposition type of stuff. Maybe later on. I see some icons on the screen, so beyond this door, so I assume that I'm able to get past here as well. And those icons will become relevant later on. I'm thinking that we'll get some stuff inside of the Animus, or when we reach a certain milestone in the story there, then it'll open up stuff for us to do here. Just sort of The inanimate stuff with Edward Kenway is clearly the primary story, and that is the story that this side stuff outside of the Animus, the side story outside of the Animus, is anchored to that. And that's just the form in which that the nonlinear storytelling here takes. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It just depends on whether that creates a good experience or not. Right now, I will just say that I wish that there could have been perhaps more things to discover right up front. Maybe there could have been a way to open just one of those locked doors right up front, and then learn a little bit more. But then after that locked door was open, that would have been it. We would have to progress more in the Animus. But right now, it seems like there's nothing possible to unlock. Just gather those sticky notes, and that's about it. So for now, it looks like we just have to wait until the rest of the story here, the rest of the world here, unlocks itself for us. And hopefully it makes it clear enough so that I can then hop out of the Animus and then explore more of that later. So I'm going to go back into the Animus and continue on with Edward's storyline as he's making his way as a pirate. But yeah, it's interesting to see learning more about what the outside of the Animus stuff is all about, even if we don't really know, even if we didn't really learn that much. It's just interesting to see our limits, what we can and can't do for now. As far as Edward's storyline, which we're now continuing here, right now in the beginning it seems just seems really open-ended, and I'm not sure if that's a great thing to leave it so open, because when you provide too little objectives and motivation for what your character is doing, then sometimes that means that there's not enough motivation for the player to continue to explore and progress through the world, even for as far as side quests. Like for me, I think I would like to have some sort of better picture of what the grander objective of our character is before I go about exploring outside of that objective, before I just go about exploring side missions and whatnot. And right now, like, the game hasn't made very clear what Edward's objective is. It seems very loose and open-ended. He's just trying to we're just going to go ahead and pick up this thing that's on this island here. I'm just going to take a scenic route to my next objective, which is that exclamation mark in the lower left corner there in the mini-map, so I'll eventually head there. But I'm going to just explore more of the grander islands here, more of the grander world. Pick up a few collectibles on the way. Alright, what is this? Okay, that's kind of cool. I have to admit that seeing dynamic naval battles between other ships besides me That's really cool to see. That means like the ships interact with each other outside of what you do. It's actually that is actually pretty impressive that that happens. Normally when you see an AI in games, they only interact with you. Like, you have to be the instigator of interactions between those AI. So it's really cool to see AI, ships, and people here interacting with each other outside of what you want to do. It's really cool. I'm not sure what that means, if it's just meant as a show, but for right now I think it's pretty cool to see that kind of thing. Anyhow, as far as going back to the main storyline here and Edward's motivation, it seems just a little too muddled at the start. Just like his only motivation is to why are they cheering? What? I don't know why they're cheering. Anyway, it seems like his only motivation is to acquire cash, resources to support himself, and it's probably related to the flashbacks we've seen to his time with his lady, his life there. But we haven't really progressed in either storyline to understand what his ultimate goal is. Now compare that to previous games. Like I'll compare that to Assassin's Creed 3, for instance. Okay, I'm just gonna look at the major map and see how far away certain things are. Like I guess these are sync points, right? No. Okay. Antaka Wreck contains an upgrade plan. Okay. Interesting. Oh, these are sync points. Okay. Okay, this world's huge. Wow, it's really impressive. Dang. Like we've only seen the tip of the iceberg as far as the grander world here. And when a game is as open as this game seems to be, I mean, look how large this world is. Could probably go anywhere here. I mean, we can go to the main quest here, but we could just turn tail and go here if we want. See what's over there. However, I mean, depending on who you are, what your preference is as far as open world games, as far as, you know, depending on the player, and an open world game can be too open. It can be really intimidating. Like this huge world can be so intimidating because I feel like I don't want to get lost. I don't want to get too far astray of what I'm doing, because then I feel like I am just grinding through things that I'm not really motivated to do yet. Like, I feel like the game not only needs to build a large open world, but also give me the motivation to explore it. And I kind of touched on this when I was in the outside-the-Animus stuff. The game needs to give me a reason to say do side quests outside of the main mission. I feel like I haven't really gotten that yet from this game. I think in part of that reason is part of the reason for that is that involves the main mission, and the game hasn't really made it clear what Edward's ultimate goal is, what he's trying to achieve. Maybe he just doesn't have one yet, and he has to discover it. All we've seen so far in the game have been short-term goals. But as far as the overall goal is... Oh, and I was going to compare it to Assassin's Creed 3. Yeah, in Assassin's Creed 3 made it pretty clear right away, or very earlier on in the game, what the main character's goal was. And his overall goal, even if that goal was not going to be achieved until much later in the game. But at least he had a goal. His goal was, as far as, yeah, Connor was the main character in Assassin's Creed 3. His goal was simple revenge. An antagonist burned down his village, and he wanted revenge against that character. So that was his ultimate goal, was to kill that character. And to kill that character's associates. I don't want to give too much away about the story, but as far as goals go, that is a very clear goal. And pursuing that goal, like, I was able to understand that the main missions meant pursuing that goal, and side objectives were to supplement that storyline, and also perhaps not only provide pacing change for that storyline, allowing you to explore it at will, but also to allow you to gain resources that'll help you in the main storyline. So the fact that we haven't really have a strong goal yet means that I don't have a motivation to keep going in general, at least for right now. Maybe we'll get that broader goal later on, but yeah, for right now we're not really seeing it. Andreas Island, okay. Looks like that is where we're going. And it seems like there's probably going to be some small settlement here that'll you can explore. Probably not a large city, but a settlement nonetheless. Right now, like, the only thing we have for right now is are these objective markers, are these very simple short-term goals. And I guess ultimately what I'm saying is, right now, in the beginning of the game, I don't feel too motivated to pursue either the main storyline here or to pursue side objectives, just because I don't know what that main storyline is all about. How do I dock? I was hoping that he would automatically dock here. I guess that doesn't matter. I'm just gonna jump off. Just gonna jump off. This is ultimately where I need to go. It's on this island. The overworld here is really impressive. It is massive. I said the main problem is that it can be too open-ended. It can just be too open. Now, some players might actually like that fact. They might like a lack of direction. But I guess for everyone, there's a different balance of what they enjoy. And I feel like for me, I want a little bit more direction, a little bit more motivation. Because motivation gives me a lot of important information, like what my character is doing, why he wants to do it. Also gives me information about why I want to continue playing. I mean, ideally, this large open world, the game will give me a reason to explore every single corner of it. They'll take me through to each area in the game at least once, as far as the main storyline, and then once I saw it in the main storyline, then I can choose to return back for side objectives if I see fit. So right now I'm just curious about overall direction of the game. Maybe I just haven't progressed enough in the main story. I mean, let's see. I'm technically out of the prologue now. I'm actually in sequence 2. So I am, yeah, more than 10%, according to this, through the game. But as far as even even being 10% in, I still feel like there's not enough direction for me. So that isn't a huge problem necessarily. That is something that I mean, it's just necessarily a short-term problem, possibly, in that as we go forward, we'll get more concrete direction. Hopefully soon. I mean, it could be with this very mission that we get more clear direction, or more clarity about what Kenway is ultimately trying to achieve here. So I'm gonna keep pursuing main storyline stuff for now until I get clearer direction and motivation. And once I have that, then I think I'll be a little bit more comfortable to explore side quests and the main mission. I feel like side quests in general, side activities and side storylines are mainly they're given value by the main storyline, right? Or by their relation to the main storyline. And if I don't have a grasp on the main storyline yet, then how can I know what side quests even mean as far as the grander scheme of things, what they ultimately gain me. So hopefully, as I said, I want to get a little bit more direction.
Why, look! It's the bastard son of the late William Kidd. Still a mere boy, and yet 10 times the demon his father was.
Fancy seeing you here, Kenway. Still looking sleek and mean. Did you steal that costume from a dandy in Havana?
No, sir. I found this on a corpse. One that was walking about and talking shite to my face only moments before.
Huh.
So, what's this I hear about a planned raid on a plantation? Not keeping secrets from me, are you?
Not very well. Every day, schooners packed with sugar sail past, coming from plantations nearby. Most times they stop here, sell off a few crates. There's one man visiting today that'd earn you a fine profit. So if you'd like to rob his plantation, I'll point him out.
I would. Is it a Mr. Beckford that owns this plantation?
That's the man. He owns dozens round these islands, and he's bloody rich.
Just the sort I like to see robbed.
His agent is around here somewhere. Find and follow him, and he'll lead you straight to your prize.
Okay, so far, even for this mission, for instance, like, main motivation seems to be, I'm a pirate, and I'm gonna do pirate things, like loot stuff to gain resources and crew. What is the ultimate objective here? I'm still not entirely sure, but I'm going to, give the game the benefit of the doubt, and keep going with the hopes that we'll understand more about who Edward Kenway is and what he's doing. I feel like it's okay for a game to not tell you that stuff up front, as long as it does it in a timely fashion that makes sense for that makes sense to its storyline. So, advice of James Kidd, Edward tails one of Peter Beckford's agents back to his plantation and robs the warehouse there. Alright, so... it looks like this is a tailing mission.
It gladdens me to hear your say so. But despite the waywardness of your enterprise here, I understand that you are men of discernment.
Wonder if I can hide with these guys.
You presume
Yeah, I
too
can.
much, sir.
So any group of 2 people I can then join to become part of that group. So I can use that to blend in while I'm tailing this guy so that he won't become aware of me. Alright, I think I might have missed any sort of optional objectives. Check that now. Okay, nothing. Just tail the agent. Yeah, so with these tailing missions, the person you're tailing will often stop and then look behind him. So you need to make sure that you're blended on occasion here, so he doesn't discover you. Although sometimes the frequency at which these characters can decide to turn around is a little annoying.
And there take stock of our inventory. It was a good harvest this year.
You may not talk so loud, son. Listen here to my friend.
Nonsense, man. I had a delightful conversation with a chap just now. We came to quite an understanding. As you see, sir. Hold on, well, boys. We're going home. You then, stop.
Alright, I guess I tailed enough.
I must be tired.
Let's get out of this area here. So there's a bottle around here somewhere. Where's that? I guess I have no time. I gotta go back before this timer runs out. Can explore stuff later. Oh no, I'm not gonna be able to reach the wheel in time. Alright. Okay, I wasn't really paying attention. I think what happened was I'm supposed to follow that ship with my ship. That's why there's a timer.
We're going home.
Okay, so need to be a little bit more diligent about main quest here. Can't pick up anything here, right? I see it on the map. Oh, here it is. Let's pick this up on the way. Another one of these really long messages that I'll have to read off stream. It was fortunately way too long to read on stream. If it's short enough, I'll read it here, but for now, just continue on. I'm assuming that I need to get back, follow the ship that we're gonna head back to. Oh, I see. Yeah, the ship did take off. Go, 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 go.
Captain,
Okay.
you have the look of a man crafting a bold idea. Look I've seen before.
You mark well at it. I just overheard one of the Beckford's men talking grandly about his plantation, all the cargo he's keeping there, and it gave me the idea that I might take these goods off him and sell them off for a better price than he'd ever ask.
Ah, a man of vision. I like this idea.
Okay, that's the ship we're following. Okay, we're pretty sure we're already very familiar about these restricted areas, but as far as the The sailing part, that might be able to work a little differently. Great restricted areas or areas you're not supposed to be in. Ships will instantly detect and attack if you enter their field of view. Ships' fields of view are displayed on the minimap. Avoid them to not get in conflict. These are represented in red on the minimap. Okay. And I'm guessing that one of the optional objectives will be... Oh no.
Captain, these waters are closely watched by our enemies.
Hold on. There's trouble afoot.
I see them.
Okay.
Aubrey, come in! Sir! There's loot floating here!
So I just gotta stay out of sight here. Interesting. Yeah, it's interesting to see how the tailing stuff translates to the naval, the sailing portions of the game. Interesting.
Ground in order! Stonsels, let's ride this squall!
Ship coming after us, sir! Think she's a cutter! Royal Bloody Navy! Seems to be alone, sir! Fire! Off target!
Okay, I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that ship without being detected there, because, like, crossing our field,
There's trouble afoot.
I see them.
or is our crossing our path, have to go around them the long way? Alright, there's our optional objective, stay out of combat, so, yeah, I'm supposed to just follow him and pay close attention to the minimap. First time doing this, so I don't have a real opinion about, you know, if this is any good or not, but I'll say that it just seems interesting. Oh, the ship is now... It's now turning around, okay.
Enemy making for us, sir! Cutter! Cutters are English! Just the lone ship, Cap! As much sail as you can!
Yeah, I can't get too close to them and they'll spot me as well.
Gallants and royals!
All in the stunsail!
I'm curious how this works.
Roll the mizzen tops!
Seems kind of strange, to be honest, like... that we'd not be detected. I mean, if we can see the ship, then they surely can see us, that we're following them.
Every last scrap
Just because we're not in a
Ride the wind! We're all
a specific cone. Doesn't really make sense that they can't spot us.
Studs up with a will!
This man's working for Peter Bagfoot's people. Do you know them? The Bagfoots and the Sugarcane.
Aye. Beckford and the Draxes. I never worked their plantation, but I knew their names from hearing other men visit.
But you worked the plantation, huh?
A modest one, aye. As a striker in the boiling pot.
Boiling house? Was it water they boiled? Or something else?
Cane juices. The hard process making sugar. Dangerous. Must be why it fetches such a dear price.
What's it like? Toiling on a plantation day and night.
Well, with the cane sugar cut and harvested, it's run between two metal rollers that crush the juice from the plant. After collecting the juice, it was time to boil away the water from the sugar. This really detaches me from coffee. But let me tell you, brother, boiling sugar is near the hottest thing on earth. Just a touch on the skin will stick like birdlime and burn on, leaving a terrible scar.
Jesus.
Yeah, they have to... There isn't really much going on as far as what happens with tailing. Seems like the most interesting thing that the game can throw at you is are these rogue winds here. Just as with the tailing missions in the...
It's a risk to anchor too close. Soldiers roving the plantation will catch us for sure.
In the walking portions of the game.
We'll look after the jacket.
They're largely uneventful, and I guess they're opportunities to provide random or minor expository dialogue. Sabotage alarm bells. Yeah, get this guy here. Guess I'm not gonna be able to do it. Okay, so it's gonna be difficult to do this, the optional objective here, and do the other thing as well. Kind of a challenge run. I have to be really quick about it. Okay, I'm just gonna kill this guy really quickly.
Stop, you! You there! Stop! Alarm! Help me, damn it!
Where are the alarm bells? Something? Sabotage alarm bells. There are 2 of them.
What's happened here? Why such disarray?
Okay, so I didn't have to do both of them before I start this up.
And you saw fit to get pickled on duty?
No bother, sir. We've everything sorted.
We'll soon see, won't we? For you must double the watch this evening. I was followed here by pirates in which rides on me, though the ship was uncommonly large for such rascals. Certainly wasn't slavers, though, not a ship that size. In any case, double the watch, and keep your damned eyes wide for anything suspicious.
Alright, so where is that other alarm bell?
You up there! Look alive, man! You've a job to do!
Apologies, sir. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
For God's sake!
Ah, it's over there. There it
What the
is.
hell is going on here today? How do you suppose you'll be able to ring that alarm if you're pissed drunk and barely able to stand?
Forgive me, sir. I am fit and able. If I see any strangeness about, you'll hear the bell. Stop, Lord, on my back. Forgive me, sir. I am fit and able. If I see any strangeness about, you'll hear the bell ringing straight away, I promise.
Yeah, these fields here are just a tad too sparse, really, to make a whole lot of sense. I think I'm doing this totally wrong. Probably should have. These optional objectives can make the mission
You saw fit to
pretty
get
darn
pickled
difficult.
on duty.
No bother, sir. We've
Really think about how I can approach it.
Soon see, won't you? For you must double the watch this evening.
double, sir. Whatever for?
I believe I was followed here by pirates, if my eyes on me, though the ship was uncommonly large for such rascals. Certainly wasn't slavers, though. Not a ship that
Alright, so
size.
yeah,
In
gathering
it,
from the dialogue there that
double the watch.
he knows is being
And keep your damn
followed.
eyes wide for anything suspicious.
Makes sense because it'd be very difficult not to spot
You up
our
there.
ship
Look
behind
alive,
him there.
man. You've a job to do.
Apologies, sir. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Okay, so
For God's sake, what the hell is
an
going
alarm
on?
bell there. How am I supposed
How
to?
do you suppose you'll be able to ring that alarm if you're piss drunk and barely able to stand?
Forgive me, sir. I am fit and able. If I see any strangeness about, you'll hear the bell ringing straight away, I promise.
Alright, that's one way to do it. Not exactly quick and clean, but something.
I'd like to speak to the man in charge here. I require
It's one way to do
entrance
it.
to the warehouse. Which of you dogs has the key to the warehouse, huh? The key, goddammit! Someone find me the key! Your piece of work.
Don't see anybody with.
Over here. Fetch me the warehouse key if you please.
Maybe or not, it's all got to be moved, lad. With gunskin, you end up in...
Alright, so the key is somewhere in here. Missions like this make it difficult to actively commentate. Just because there's a lot of dialogue, I want to make sure I don't talk over them. Ah, there he is. Okay. Don't want him seeing me. I want to isolate this one guy, take him down. So this is something we've done before in the original, the first plantation that we ransacked, I guess, that we, an earlier mission. It's like a similar type of objective. We had to find the key to unlock the next segment. Make sure I'm not missing anything here. Okay, I did the alarm bells already. I guess the better time to have done the alarm bells would have been around now. Would have been after I'm done eavesdropping on the dude I'm following. Which actually kind of makes sense because it's like an unnecessary sort of.
Interloper, raise the alarm!
Oh, I thought I sabotaged the alarm bells.
A clear shot.
You're no more complaints. You're paid to work. We're not done
Interesting.
here.
Okay.
You can gab later. Use your knees, lad. I'll not have you through your back.
All right, hang on a second. Gonna need to wrap up really quickly, but I'll try and finish up this mission here.
Come here, Smith. You can gab later.
You're paid to work. Use your knees, lad. Not how you throw your back. Keep back.
Alright, there we go. I guess that counts. It's sneaky enough that it counts. Okay, that was counts as 100%. Okay, good. I've got to rate the mission. Alright, I think this is actually a good time to end on and continue from here. So, if you tuned in, thank you very much for watching. For now, yeah, okay, just making sure my mic wasn't muted because I had to mute it earlier. Yeah, if you tuned in, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next episode. You can follow me on Twitter, follow me at @YamsterSam, and you can also watch the archives of this stream over on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/YamsterSam. And until the next episode, I will see you later.